Namaste, good morning. Shortly we are going to start at 8 o'clock the Shat Kriya demonstration. Namaste, good morning. Shortly at 8 o'clock we are going to start demonstration of Shat Kriyas. Good morning. At 8 o'clock we are going to start the demonstration of Shat Kriyas. Namaste, good morning. At 8 o'clock we will be starting Shat Kriya demonstration. Itu sudah tahu, tak nala. Itu ada secret nih.
गोली काढा फायर लगन पडला किती भयानक आवाज येतात.
Good morning. At 8 o'clock we are going to start Shat Kriya demonstration. Namaste. Good morning. Friends, we'll have a brief demonstration of Shat Kriyas or Shuddhi Kriyas or Shat Karma as they are called. In Hatha Yoga there are so many aspects and Shuddhi Kriyas are one of them. The intention is to detoxify the body, to cleanse the nadis, what they claim, so that pranic flow will be smooth, so that the pranayam can get success, and as a result the proper flow or channelizing of the prana, that concept of kundalini is there in yoga, and so it will help the kundalini awakening. That's what it is claimed. But so far the modern life is concerned, in Ayurveda they talk of Vata, Pitta and Kapha. That balancing can be done with the Shat Kriyas. And in terms of pollution, especially the respiratory tract and the digestive tract is helpful to a great extent, benefited to a great extent because of these Kriyas. Basically they were 6 in number. That's why they are not Shat Karma or Shat Kriyas. Or they are known as Shuddhi Kriyas because they are the cleansers. They are much similar to Panchakarma, of course, with a little difference. Basically, there the oils and herbs are used, but here mainly Panchamahabhuta, the earth, air, water, Agni, that is fire, and Akash, that is space, are being used. That's the speciality of these Hatha Yogic Shat Kriyas. They were 6 in number. So Dhauti, Basti, Tratak, Nauli, Kapalbhati. That's why as there is further divisions in Gheranda Samhita, altogether 23 Kriyas are mentioned and described. And now in modern times there are further use because Jalaneti was not there in tradition, or rubber neti, this is the Jalaneti pot you might be knowing, or this is the rubber catheter, it is used for rubber neti. These objects were not there previously, traditionally. For example, instead of rubber neti, what they described is sutra neti, it is thread. And they used to apply honeybee wax to make it bit stoutness at the initial end. And nowadays, for beginner, the rubber has become more convenient. So rubber neti is being practiced in modern times. So like that some additions were there. And so there are some around 40 Kriyas as on today. And then further development of Sandhi Chalan Kriya, movements of the joints, and then it will be more than 200. So there is no limit for Sandhi Chalan Kriyas. Mainly because of the COVID-19 nowadays, the major issue today is improvement of the immunity so far the respiratory tract is concerned. Directly it is the upper respiratory tract, and of course nothing can be done directly with the inner respiratory tract, but indirectly it is benefited too. So first of all, there is something like Kapalbhati, already, the Vata Kapalbhati. There is Sahaja Kapalbhati wherein just strokes we are giving. Traditionally, the Kapalbhati wherein the chest is fixed and it's the diaphragmatic breathing, exhalation is active, inhalation is passive. For example, the chest is down. So 100, 200 strokes can be given. And actually carbon dioxide is acidic, it's the acid that is thrown out, and that will help to render the alkalinity of the blood. The blood pH is 7.4. It fluctuates in a very narrow range from 7.36 to 7.44. Whether it is diet, whether it is yogic practices, ultimately this maintenance of alkalinity is very, very important. Because of wrong diet, because of stress, we happen to decrease the pH, and that we have to pay in terms of different diseases. Hence here also this Kapalbhati is very, very helpful from this maintaining alkalinity of the blood, number one, and number two, directly the Vayu Tattva, that's right, Vata. There is fire to some extent, formation, heat formation is there. Both these ways the the upper respiratory tract as well as the lower respiratory tract are benefited. But this is not a Vata Kapalabhati. As I said, Jalaneti was not there previously. It was the Jalakrama Kapalabhati, wherein the Jala, water is used. And there are two methods. You take water in mouth and take it out from the nose. And other way, Vyutkram. This is known as Sit, because there is a sound Sit by contraction of the nasopharynx. So it is Sitkram. And then Vyutkram, wherein it is other way from nose to mouth. That was traditional. So let's see that first, what is traditional. I will first see the Sitkram, wherein from mouth to nose. Other one is just reverse, from nose to mouth. That is Vyutkram. Well. But then, as I said, the Sitkram and Vyutkram requires technique to learn. So for a beginner it's not that easy. And nowadays, since last 125 years or so, when the yoga reached in common society from the Hatha Yogi's ashram, so for the common people to make it easier, convenient, this Jalaneti pot was there. There are different types of, in North India mainly the tea kitli like pots are used. This is a plastic. There are China clay mugs. So different institutes have come with different types of Jalaneti pots. Ultimately, the intention is there. From one nose, the water can be thrown out from the other nose, and that's very easy. Means compared to that Sitkram and Vyutkram, which requires to master the technique. Here, provided your nostrils are open, anybody, a layman, if given this one and done properly, this can be done. That's not a big issue. Here you have to breathe through the mouth consciously and not nose. If you breathe through the nose, there will be interruption in the flow. There will be continuous flow from the other nostril. You have to do nothing actually. No special technique. Actually, this can be continued till the pot is empty from one side, then again fill it and do it other side. But for saving the time, with the same one we will show on the other side. whether it is Sitkram Vitkram or it is Jalneti, which is not traditional but developed very recently, in both the cases, it's very helpful. Obviously, it will cleanse the upper respiratory tract, it will improve the resistance, but at the same time, it's good for health of eyes also. But water can get trapped in the sinuses. There are cavities in the skull, as you know, and that can give you inflammation like cold like symptom within 2-3 hours. So just as you say that before you know the accelerator, you should know where is the brake of the vehicle, just like that. You should know something like after kriyas. In order to remove the water trapped in the sinuses, you have to do those. There are some series of 5 to 7 different techniques. The most effective is bend the trunk 90 degrees, turn the head. By closing the lower nostril, you have to just do the strokes, just like Sahal Kapalbhati, and the water will come out from the other side. Same thing on the other side. This was the most effective technique. There are other techniques, of course, like Udyan Bandha. When the negative pressure is created. Or you can do this Hasta Parshvasana and then bend down and do the stroke. Or in Marjarasana like position, Marjarasana A, backward bending, Marjarasana B, forward bending. The water is also many things. But the one technique which I did, it is most effective, and that should be done first on priority, because more than 90% water from the sinuses goes out. And if somebody forcibly did this Kapalbhati, just by sitting and trying to throw, sometimes water may enter in the ears. And in order to avoid that, this is most effective, that should be done first. Now, this is the Sutra Niti, as I said. So we can go for only one option today. This is traditional and this is non-traditional. Here, being cotton, it has got an additional advantage that it will absorb the toxins, apart from giving massage and improving the resistance, immunity of the mucosal membrane. So that's one additional advantage here. But here the other advantage is for the beginner. Being slippery compared to the cotton thread, this becomes very easy for a beginner, very comfortable. So nowadays this has become most popular. We call it rubber neti, but many institutes call it this as sutra neti because it's a substitute for sutra neti. But actually this is not sutra. Sutra means cotton threads. Okay, so let us see with rubber only now. There are two ends. You have to just insert, and obviously from the nasopharynx it will enter the mouth cavity, and don't allow push it further. It may enter in the esophagus and then it will be very difficult to trace. Just moment it reaches the throat, there is some sensation, coughing like, and then make a forceps of your 2 fingers. Don't use the thumb because these are the lengthier fingers. So use them and then just draw it out. And nice massage some 5 times. Remove from the mouth and repeat same on the other side. You can wash it and repeat same on the other side. Obviously for sutra, this massage should be slower because it gives some friction, and that's why it should be slow initially. Once it turns mucousy, then you can just increase the speed. But so far rubber is concerned, it's very easy. One can have a bit faster massage. So why that, with that friction, how it improves the resistance, you can make out. And now our Guruji, because I am from Yoga Vidya Niketan, my name is Durgadas Sawant, it is Mumbai Institute. So our Guruji, Padma Shri Sadashiv Nimbalkar Guruji, has gone one step ahead, because the lower and upper mucous membrane is getting massage, and nostrils are there from the front part only. Later on there is only one passage, so the septum parting the two nostrils ends somewhere in the midway. So behind the septum, in order to get the massage, because in this case it will be just lower and upper mucosal membrane, not this back of the septum. So there is some modification, there is no Vesan Neti. For this, both the ends are inserted from two different nostrils. In this fashion, both they come together. One is blunt, another is, it can be connected in this fashion. So that will cross the septum and come out, and you can disconnect. So it's like long mustache, and now you can make out. So this is not alternate to the previous kriya, rubber neti. It's the area of massage are quite different. So it's special development. So as you have seen, the kriyas which mainly directly concerned with the cleansing of the upper respiratory tract and obviously help to improve the immunity, but it has got a benefit to the lower respiratory tract also, because everything is interconnected. Now there are certain kriyas which, as is directly concerned with the gut or the digestive tract, but indirectly concerned with the lower respiratory tract, because we can't deal directly with lower respiratory tract, inside the trachea, bronchi and lungs, etc. But it has got an independent effect immediately, because we can make out how the cough is coming out, getting thin and all that. So there are different kriyas. One is Vastra Dhauti. This is about say some 11 feet long vastra. There can be 5.5 feet, there can be 22 feet, there can be 33 feet long vastra. All these items which are used for these kriyas are first sterilized, means just boiled in water for 1 or 2 minutes, and they are used. Then they are absolutely safe, no problem. And then again you have to wash it nicely, dry it just like clothes, and then fix and keep in the kit. So that's the procedure. Kriyas need not be done daily, just like asana and pranayam or meditation, but once in a week or sometimes just once in a fortnight are enough. Sometimes if there is some acute problem, then of course, because somebody is suffering from acidity or somebody is suffering from very much cough, then let him or her do Vaman Dhauti or such kriyas daily, nothing wrong. But otherwise, for preventive point of view, as a general daily regular practice, they need not be done daily, because that's time consuming also, and no need. Once in a week, once in a fortnight, more than sufficient. The another kriya which is concerned with the gut is this Danda Dhauti. It's a bigger catheter. So that is being inserted inside, and then from the same water is being drunk and water is being taken out. So in order to show it within least time, what I will do, I will insert this dand just for demonstration. I will just show 1 glass of water being how by negative pressure, vacuum, it is being taken in. And I won't show, because for that I will have to drink some 7-8 glasses. Not drink, take some 7 glasses of water and then show that how it is being thrown to this tube, dand itself. Dand means stalk actually. Previously they used to do out of the leaves, some long leaves having hollow. So those no need, now this rubber has become very convenient. I will just show the part that how it is inserted and how by suction water is taken from higher level to lower level. It's a physical phenomenon. And then I will take out, because I won't complete because of short of time. You have to just swallow, nothing else. Here you can make out. Udiyan Bandha, a negative pressure is created, and I am normally breathing now. And automatically from higher level to lower level, it's a physical phenomenon. Water enters. And if you pour water, you can, take some 5 to 8 glasses of water inside, and through the tube itself, you can take it out. One go to glass, I will show. Let's say at what speed the water enters, the water level is getting reduced. It's a siphoning action. It's a physical phenomenon, passive phenomenon known as siphoning action from higher level to lower level. Water can be taken at the inception also. So most common kriya for this tract, which can be very conveniently done because it requires learning some technique how to gulp the vastra or to take the dand inside, etc. Just drink the water and vomit out. It's very natural because some poison is there. Automatically sometimes we get vomiting. So it is not a Vamanadhavati actually. And then without inserting the fingers, we do this one Vyagra Karni, means just like tigress or tiger. And then having a far away forcible flow, that is like Gajakarni. But many people call this woman itself as Gajakarni. But there are hierarchies. Vamanadhavati, wherein you are using the fingers. Vyagrakarni, no fingers. And then Gajakarni means lot of water you are drinking and throwing it forcibly. Today we are just going to see Vaman Dhauti only and finish today's session. So we are running short of time. You have to drink many glasses as per your capacity, 5 glasses, 8 glasses, stomach full. Not only the acid will be taken out, good for digestion, but cough will be going out, making thin. So very good directly for the lower as well as upper respiratory tract. Feeling very fresh. It can be only experienced. It is helpful, no doubt, for cleansing the digestive tract and good for respiratory tract. The cough goes out. At the same time, your voice becomes immediate. You can feel the difference. And then after this, if you do go asana, you will find the body has turned more flexible because the nadis are getting clean. That's the reason. And pranayam can be done better. Very controlled breathing you can do slowly. Purak and Rechak 1:2 ratio. And at a later stage, of course, Kumbha can be more easily maintained. Because whether it is asana or pranayam, easiness is very, very important. And because of these kriyas, because of the cleansing of the nadis and throwing out of the toxins, all these other practices up to meditation, they are supported. So that's the reason they have designed it. So thank you very much for very calm listening to this session.